Good evening, Bande Matram. Welcome all of you. Integral Yoga, a step forward in evolution. Sri Aurobindo's Yoga, a step forward in evolution. That is the topic of discussion for this glorious evening. As we have heard, most of the time people think maybe it is a step forward comparing the other faculties of yoga, because so many yogas have been defined, developed in the course of time, and everyone has gone forward a little bit, little ahead, according to the need and urge of the time. Maybe people think it is one more step forward, that way they think, but it is categorically it is said. Sri Aurobindo's yoga is not a retreading of old works, but a step forward in evolution. A step forward in evolution. Evolution, in the process of evolution, it is one step forward that you must know. It is not a retreading of old yogas. That's what Sri Aurobindo tries to clarify. My truth is one of that rejects ignorance and falsehood and moves to the knowledge. Very interesting. My truth is one that rejects the ignorance and falsehood. Rejects the ignorance and falsehood and moves towards the knowledge. This is what my truth. Rejects darkness and moves towards a light. That is second step. Rejects egoism and moves towards the divine self. That is number 3. Number 4. Rejects the imperfections and moves towards the perfection. That is number 4. That is the truth that I have revealed to the mankind. Very interestingly, here in the course. My truth is one that rejects ignorance and falsehood. Initial, number 1. Rejects ignorance and falsehood and moves towards knowledge. That is the first step. Second step. Rejects darkness and moves towards the light. That is the second step. Third. Rejects egoism and moves towards the divine self. Number 4. Rejects the imperfections and moves towards the perfection. That is fourth step. My truth is not only the truth of bhakti. It is not only the truth of bhakti or the psychic development. That is what the truth. So the quotes. My truth is not only the truth of the bhakti or the psychic development, but also knowledge, purity, divine strength, calm, of the raising of the all things from the mental, emotional and vital forms to their supramental reality. That is what the speciality of integral yoga, and my truth what I have borrowed, I have jotted down. Very interesting. You must know, because most of the time we are confused really what you want to do. By the process of time, things should develop in you. Instead of developing, it is retreading, it is going down. That is the problem. That's what I want to quote it again and again. You try to understand what is the newness in Sri Aurobindo's integral yoga. Where all yogas end, there begins integral yoga, Sri Aurobindo's yoga. And initially, by the very, with all these clarities, Sri Aurobindo tried to quote it, that already this is topic we have taken for the grand discussion. Sri Aurobindo's yoga is not a retreading of the old works, but it is a step forward in evolution. What is that truth? My truth is one that rejects ignorance and falsehood. They have no place, and moves towards knowledge. That is the first step. Second, rejects darkness and moves towards light. Rejects egoism and moves towards divine self. Rejects imperfections and moves towards perfection. That is what the speciality of my yoga. And the second, next steps here in the course. My truth is not the only truth of the bhakti or psychic development. It is not the truth of the only bhakti or the psychic development, but also simultaneously, these also they are, and simultaneously something more. Also knowledge, purity, divine strength, and calm, and of the rising of all these things from their mental, emotional, and vital frames to the supramental reality. That is what the greatness, that is the beauty of Sri Aurobindo's yoga, you can remember. So it is not a retreading of the old paths, old works, but a totally a step forward in evolution. I want to say it is quite much more than that. So this is the first steps what Sri Aurobindo tried to express before us. That is the number one. Number two, the ascent to the divine life is the human journey. What about the human journey? Horizontally going to Pondicherry or Vatican City or somewhere near the somewhere very little bit ahead to the Makkah Medina or Ajodhya. No, 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 no. It is totally something different. The ascent to the divine life is a human journey. Ascent to the divine life, that is for that actually this yoga. That is the purpose. Ascent to the divine life, that is the human journey. The work of works, the acceptable sacrifice. Do you imagine how great things have been sketched, written by Sri Aurobindo? The to the divine life. That is what the purpose for which it is integral yoga is meant. Ascent to the divine life is the journey. It is a human journey, number one. Number two, the work of works. And number three, acceptable sacrifice. That is what? Acceptable sacrifice. This alone is a man's real business. That is what is the purpose of your rebirth, purpose of your coming. That's what you must know. That is the man's real business and the world in the world and the justification of his existence. For that actually you are meant. That is the man's real business in the world. And number two, justification in the existence. Justification in the existence. Without which he would be only an insect crawling among the other ephemeral insects. Like you can see so many insects are there, or so many animals are there, they are still animals. Or insects crawling amid, like other ephemeral insects on a speck of the surface mud. You can see everywhere. You hate them. You turn your gaze. You don't want to touch. You want to dive away from them. Like this it will be there. But the difference between these ephemeral animals, these insects, and with their preconceived shape, size, and everything, man is totally different because his purpose is different. Purpose of coming is different. Ascent to the divine life is the human journey, work of works and acceptable sacrifice. This is what the man's real business in the world. And the justification is worldly existence. For that he has to prove. If he can't prove, then how can he differentiate himself that I am superior, I am a human being, I am so far the finest animal in the creature. If he can do all these things, he can practice in life. If he can go a couple of steps in evolution as defined by the master. So finally, he has to be nothing more than these insects, ephemeral insects crawling, without which he could be only an insect crawling among the other ephemeral insects on the speck of surface and the water, which is merged in form itself amid the appealing immensities of physical universe. He has to come, he has to purify, he has to prove it. That is the purpose of his birth. That is the purpose of his coming. The purpose of his coming. So next step forward. So that is the purpose. The third condition comes. What is the purpose? Why? Why this yoga? What is really the greatness of this yoga for which you have come here? Because so many yogas are there. People have been practicing since the time immemorial. This is the guiding principle with which it is going. When it is deteriorating or the consciousness of human being is getting being lifted a little bit larger and higher, that time you can feel some one new principle or new religious vendetta or religious thought is actually dominating the scenario. So it may be, you will be thinking that what Sri Aurobindo has done here in this earth, maybe little bit like one step ahead of this his old faculties, whoever have crossed some level, and it is one or two steps ahead, nothing like this. Because the concept is totally new. It is fundamentally a new principle, new concept. Everything is new. The manifestation of God in matter. Manifestation of God in matter is the goal of nature in terrestrial evolution. Have you only understood? Or simply roti kapada makan, for which actually we keep running, crawling like a mud, in the mud, like the insect, ephemeral insect, because we don't know the purpose of our path, purpose of our living. That is fundamentally the problem with us. We don't know what really the principle, which one we should do. The manifestation of God in matter is the goal of nature in her terrestrial evolution. That is what manifestation of God in matter, yet to be manifested. We can't see the manifestation. We can't reach there. Our senses have the incapacity to detect. Our mind can't admit it because it is totally seized. It is confined. That is the problem. Again, Sri Aurobindo goes forward one step ahead that we have already seen. To become complete in being, in consciousness of the being, in force of being, in delight of being, and to live in this integrated completeness is the integrated completeness divine is the divine living. We don't know really. We don't know what really we are doing, wherefore we are going, and what is the purpose of our life. Really, we are unaware. We are ignorant rather. That's what Sri Aurobindo quotes. To become complete in being, in consciousness of the being, to become complete in being, in consciousness of being, in form of the being, in delight of the being, and to live in this integrated completeness is the is nothing but the divine living. So that is the divine living. Because we speak of, we analyze, we always again and again we speak of the divine. Divine is the goal, divine is the beginning, divine is the end. We have to lead the divine life, and we must accept the divine living, the style of divine living. So many ways we accept. But thing is totally, Sri Aurobindo has clarified very interestingly. I want to quote in the end, of course. This is a very interesting message. We must try to unlearn to become complete in being, in consciousness of being, in force of being, number 4, in delight of being, number 5, and to live in this integral completeness is the divine living. Is the divine living. That's what you remember. You must apply in your life. That is what is the secret message from the master, and we have to accept it, and we have to apply in our life. That is the secret of sadhana. So we have to stop here and wait for the next step, next class for further clarification. Thank you for now.